What's going on, my good people? This your boy Lap Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Benedict College and Fort Valley. This is going to be an interesting band battle. These two are going to be going at it. This is my first time seeing Benedict, so this is going to be real interesting to see what they're going to bring to the table. I would say if y'all like this type of content and you're new to the family, please consider subscribing and liking up the video. Really helps you out tremendously, okay? So what we have to grade, okay, we're going to be grading halftime, their halftime performance in their fifth quarter, and we can say who won this battle, who won this battle. Sometimes it might be a tie, sometimes it might be some band might be stronger than other, but at the end of the day, it's nothing but love here. And I'm not here to bash any band or organization. I'm here to give that honest critique, okay? So with that being said, they both got their strengths and weaknesses, and I'm going to highlight that. If I put an error on a band member or a bandsman, don't think that I'm picking on them. I just be trying to help out people understand what I'm grading and what I would like for them to do and fix better. There's nothing they can do about it now, but it's something that they can do for next season, which is in the fall. Okay, so we got a lot of time since to then. So, but it's good to see bands react and see their how they feel about it. But this is what this channel is about. I'm also a music producer as well, so I will be posting some music content as well along with that. So if you're down for the ride, please be a part of the family. Okay, so did enough rambling. Let me tell y'all what we're gonna be grading. Look to the cards next to me. Okay, for halftime we graded entrance, songs, formation, dancers, breakdown, and overall creativity. In all those categories, they can make a 5 altogether. They can make 30 in creative, okay? Besides creative, if they don't do anything creative or unique on the field, they can get a 25. And if they can get 5 in all those categories besides creative, I would give them a perfect field show rating, okay? So that gives me gives that band, that initial edge as far as me explaining, and giving them praise, okay? So, that's what it is, and, we're going to get into the action. So, again, let's do this. We're going to start with Benedict first because look, we at Fort Valley State's home. So, Benedict's going to be first, then Fort Valley. Then we're going to get into that fifth quarter, halftime, fifth quarter scale, then fifth quarter. So, there it is. I broke it down for y'all. So let's go. Yes, I like to as well.
It is time for your ultimate halftime experience. The band
Let's see what Benedict got going on. I'm excited to see them. It's my first time seeing them ever. They look very clean. On that pinwheel, but it made sense now that it was performing a letter. That was nice. It sounds very good. That was nice. Oh, they incorporate the drum majors too? Okay. I like it. I just feel like it could just be a tad bit cleaner. Just a tad bit cleaner. Even when the drum majors just feel like they did the move, but it was not like together. If that makes sense. Hey, but they jamming though.
Once again, it's the band of distinction. All my graduating high school students, the choice is before your eyes.
Look clean. It look very clean. They got the energy too. Yeah.
And now we're going to take you to a classic. Everybody know
Hey, they doing good. Yeah. They got the energy. They look like they're having fun too.
what you got for us, BOP. Let's get it in.
I wasn't expecting this. Hold on.
Here we go.
Oh, this is pretty dope right here. Got they forming a huddle and they getting crunk. Hey, look, that was entertaining, fam. It was almost a perfect for me. it was almost a perfect for me. I just feel like if the dancers would have gave me just a little bit more, I think I would have gave them a perfect field show rating. But I gave them a 3 in creative. Let me give them the reason why. Everything else was a 5. Entrance was a 5. Songs, formations, breakdown. Everything about that was a 5. I just think give the dancers a 4. It was just missing just a little bit of oomph, but you know it was a very entertaining field show. Very entertaining field show. So they got 27 on that one. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I mean, hey, I don't know what Fort Valley's gonna pull out after that, but woo, hey, that was crucial. You feel me? That was crucial. That was crucial. For real, man. Like I said, everything about that field show was nice. I have like no complaints about that. Like it was a lot of excitement. They sounded clean. 8 to 5 was there. They had some entertaining moments. They kept it, they kept it going. There was no dull moments, So I like that field show. Very strong for Benedict. This is my first time seeing them. Very impressed by them. Very impressed. Alrighty. So if y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Helps your boy out tremendously, okay? We're going to move on to Fort Valley, see what they're going to do. Whew, I don't know, man. That was pretty strong. I want to see what Fort Valley's going to pull out. Let's see what they're going to pull out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, introducing to some the Fort Valley State University Machine Marching Band, a.k.a. the Sound and the Field. The field is yours. We welcome all Benedict High School band to Wildcat Stadium.
Shout out to Lil Mix Videos for capturing this footage, by the way. I didn't get a chance to say that. Look like they're gonna do a dip. Real short. Like them knees are up. Them knees are up, which is good. I like that. They hit that. They hit that. My homeboy doing? He ain't picking that leg up. What we doing? Alrighty, let's give it a grade. Alrighty, so in the creative department, I'm going to give them a 1. Entrance is a 5. Songs is a 5. Formations a 5. Dancers a 5. Breakdown, I'm going to give them a 4. Okay. Reason why I gave them a 4 in breakdown, old dude wasn't picking his legs up, and it was kind of a couple other people who was kind of skating in that breakdown. You know, I feel like the energy could have been there a little bit more effort. I'm like this: if you're gonna do something, do it. Do the motion. If you see one person doing something, I need everybody to be doing the same thing. You can't halfway do something. When it comes down to creative, it just wasn't that many creative moments in that field show, and that's not me throwing shade at for Valley. I just think they just needed just an extra oomph as far as that is concerned, the creative department. So they got a 25. They got a 25. All right, 25. All right. So now we closing this out. We're going into the 5th quarter, but before we get to that, let me explain where we at. This is the current standings. Okay, coming from the field show. All right, leading into this 5th quarter, Benedict is ahead by 2 points. Alright, 2 points difference right now. It's a close battle right now, but right now the edge is going to Benedict right now. 2 points. Now this can all change in the 5th quarter. I've seen things happen when bands get that initial edge and they rock it out. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes bands don't shake back from the 5th. You know, this is the deciding factor right here. It could be a couple points and that's it, you know. And so, but again, ladies and gentlemen, please do not get in your feelings about these grades. It's nothing but honesty here. I'm here to give y'all the truth, you know, and this is my opinion. Alright? So you can go somewhere else and get a different opinion, but this is my opinion. This is what y'all tune in for. This is my opinion. Alright? So don't bash your boy. Alright? Alright, so with that being said, please look to the card next to me so you know what we'll be grading. Alright? For the fifth quarter, we're going to sound selection, power, articulation, arrangement, and overall cleanness. Okay? So with that being said, every point, every category, they can get a maximum point of 10. And so altogether they can get 50. And if they get a 50, I would give them a perfect on that song, on that initial song that they performed in fifth. Okay, but if not, you know, hey, they just have to do better to clean it up next time. But again, this is not me trying to bash any band, but to give a decisive winner, if so. So with that being said, let's get into the action. This is going to be interesting. Like Benedict is going to start us off. Let's get to it. This is going to be a medium-sized fifth. It's not no humongous fifth, but I think there's going to be a couple songs in here. We're going to be good. So let's get to it. Oh, it look like fourth ballads first. My bad. Oh, get that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, they came forward, boy. They was not playing. They was not BSing. They was not BSing at all. At all, they was not BSing. I ain't mad at them for that one. Yes, indeed. That's a good way to start the battle off right there. Alright, moving on. a hard piece for them, I can tell. Sound selection's 10, power is 10, articulation is a 9, arrangement's 10, cleanness is a 9. They got a 48, and just like that, that lead is a tie now. And just like that, that lead became a tie. But what I'm gonna tell you about that song, it had its moments, but that was definitely a hard piece. I just think the band wasn't truly prepared for that all the way. Like, they there, but not there yet. And I just think that was something they should have saved at the end of their book, if they was going to pull something out. But it was a good song selection. It was a good response. I just feel like it needed some sprucing up for that response. So, but it was good, though. 48. Working, boy. Super Saiyan this thing, man. Whoo, that was crucial, man. That was nice. Oh, man, give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, that shit was nice. That shit was nice, man. I gotta give them a pin for that one, too, man. Low key, I would pull that out on the band as well. That would have been that little hitter right there. That's a nice piece right there. Nice piece right there. No complaints at all. Well, I would add just a small critique. I just think that I think it's either the baritones. They just have to just make sure that they hit consistently, more. But for the most part, it was cool. Just make sure that they're just playing an ensemble. But for the most part, I enjoyed the shit. I enjoyed this shit. That was nice. That was nice. Moving on. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like that. Oh man, that was a nice little perfect. And what I would say to give some critique on it, I would say the trumpets are sounding thin. So they're gonna have to work on just getting them to sound just a little bit more in tune with each other. I think that would have been good, but I just felt like, when they sound thin like that, it just seems like, a squeaky horn or something. But I mean, they wasn't missing. I give them that. They wasn't missing, but I just think like, that is definitely something to think about in future arrangements. If you know your horns can't hit that, you better get your horns right. You better get your horns right. That's how I see it. Alright, moving on. That's crucial, dog. Alrighty. And one Super Saiyan Blue God in this thing. Man, Fort Valley's pen game, dude, that is crucial, dog. They're crucial. They're showcasing their pen. I like that. They definitely got that power behind them, too. They ain't playing. They definitely ain't playing when it comes down to that. They got that power behind them when it comes to that. No things, But I'm gonna say this as an honest critique. I've been hearing a lot of hip hop from them. I would like them to switch up the genre. Okay, I need somebody to slow it down. Okay, but the next time that I don't hear them do something or a genre change, I'm gonna dock them 1 point. Same thing for Benedict. Just to give some honest critique, it's just like, hey, this is a fifth. We want to see your range in your book. You feel me? So, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that you're playing current songs. I'm glad you're playing hip hop, but we want to see that range in your book. Benedict gave me a funk song, but it was okay, But I would want them to slow it down too. We in the third round now. Now we're expecting just a little bit of a change. Okay, so hopefully they'll slow it down soon. I can take this. That it?
That was it.
I'm surprised. That it? Is that really it? That's how they gonna do me. How they gonna do me like that? That was good. I mean, it was good. It was good. So, clapping up for them. I just wish there was more to it, but I mean, it was cool. It was cool. So they on one Super Saiyan in this, man. That was nice. Gonna give him a pen. Give him a nice little pen for that too. You know, that was nice. I just think it was a good little selection as well for them to play. It's, you know, I just feel like, you know, you gave us that climax and then got stopped. I just feel like that should have just brought it back at that point, you know. But it was good. It was good. So I'm gonna give them a 50 on that. You know, no true complaints on. Oh, I just wish they could have gave me more after that. I mean, that is just me though. That is just me though. I wasn't expecting it to end like that. Alright, so that was a good response. Let's see if Fort Valley is going to slow it down for us.
That was it.
I'll take this. I'll take this. Instinct in this thing, man. Yes, indeed, they went Ultra Instinct, man. I'm not mad at it at all. Not mad at it at all, man. That was pretty good. Good song selection. They did it at the right time. I was getting concerned. I was getting concerned. I'm so serious. I was getting concerned. I was like, oh, all right. Alright, but they did it. They did it. So I'm happy about that one. So, alright. Moving on to the next one. Okay. nothing like that hangover at the end. Alright. And sound selections 10, powers 10, articulations 10, arrangements 10. Cleanness, I'm gonna give them a 9. It was some parts also besides the hangover. I just felt like it was just a mix of a little bit of, it just kind of had some parts that were just a tad bit cluttered. Just a tad bit cluttered as far as, sticking together and playing wise. I just think it's just missing just a little pinch, but that hangover did it for me though. That hangover did it for me. So they got a 49 on that. I'm very particular when somebody hangs over that hurts, and it was already bad enough that they were sounding a little thin too in that high brass section. Moving on. Legendary status, ladies and gentlemen. Fort Valley is not playing with them at all. At all, they are not playing with them. They playing. They playing. And and see, when we listen to that, when the trumpets ended at the end, it's like not the it's a difference. It's a difference. I mean, like, you still got to play in tune, but I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I like that one. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on. I'm gonna slow it down. Okay, what wins? Okay, what wins? Cut up. Whew. Okay, hold it. Oh man, that was nice, man. Get that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, that shit was nice. Damn. Yes, indeed, that was nice. Oh man, they got a perfect on that one, man. Oh man, that was nice. Wow, that was real nice. That was nice. That was nice. For Vantage gonna have to respond with something slow. That was nice. I was waiting for them to really bring it down, but that was it right there. That was nice. That's nice. I enjoyed that from them. No complaints at all. They worked hard on that. They worked hard on that one. Alright. Wasn't their strongest song. Song selection, I'm gonna give them a 9. They gave me something slow. They gave me something fast. I didn't like that. Power's 10. Articulation's 10. Arrangement is 10. Cleanness is a 9. They got a 48 from me on that one. It was just, it had its moments, but I just felt like when you hear that, it was not in tune and got overhanging on that. Like, it wasn't short. And then just the song. So, got a 48 on that one. Moving on. I ain't mad at that on that. You gonna bring it back? I'm not mad at it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not mad at it at all. That was nice. Woo, that was nice. That one Super Saiyan, ladies and gentlemen. Woo. Yeah, that was it right there. No complaints at all on that one. Alright, it look like Fort Valley's finna close us out. So we're gonna see. We're gonna still grade their grade, but we're not gonna count that against Benedict.
Happy homecoming.
Okay, cut up and wins. Okay. Oh man, they got a nice little perfect, man, right there. They got a nice little perfect at the end. Woo, that was nice. Nice perfect at the end. Again, we're not gonna count it against Benedict. We were just grading it, but it was nice. We're not grading it against Benedict because Benedict is not responding. So.
Do you like?
Alrighty. So let's give that an honest grade. Let's give it a fair shake. Alrighty. So this was a very tight battle between both of these bands. This is a very tight battle. Let's get these grades, man. I really enjoyed looking at this battle. This was an interesting battle, but very tight. Okay. Let me give both bands credit or due. They really did really good. It was very entertaining. Okay. If y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and sharing. Also, give your boy a subscribe here on YouTube. Helps your boy out tremendously, okay? So, with that being said, let's look at what we were grading, okay? We did everything. We did halftime, and we did fifth, okay? So, we're going to calculate these grades, and we're going to see who won. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please do not get in your feelings about these grades. This is just what I'm grading. I'm giving you my honest opinion, and this is my skill, okay? So, some bands are slightly stronger than others in certain categories, is that. But, you know, hey, let's see what it's about. Alrighty. We're going to start off with Benedict, and then we're going to do Fort Valley's next, okay? They got 325. 325. Alright, let's do Fort Valley's next. $323. $323. Alright. Weedham and Wheat, ladies and gentlemen. Benedict won this one. Alright. Fort Valley lost this one by 2 points. Very close battle, but Benedict just had the initial edge over them. Okay? You know, I calculated this up. This is fair and honest. You know, that's what it is. Alright? So, let me explain what happened and why Benedict won this battle, okay? So, Benedict coming into the fifth quarter was already ahead in the field show, alright? They had a stronger field show than Fort Valley, alright? Field shows do matter, okay? Field shows do matter. You know, they had more creative moments than Fort Valley did, and they just had a stronger breakdown, and the dancers, they was just kind of lacking just a little bit. But when we got to the fifth quarter, they kind of struggled starting off, and they had a hiccup here. But it seems to me that Fort Valley was stronger than them in the fifth, okay? They were stronger than them in the fifth, which kind of made it a tie. Okay, but you know, Fort Valley was stronger. However, you know, when we were to crumble down the crumbs and everything, Benedict was just stronger in the halftime. Okay, so that's what it is. You know, no complaints. I got to give credit to Fort Valley. They booked is crucial. Their book is crucial. So, you know, I have no complaints in that. So, if y'all want to know who won fifth, Fort Valley won fifth. Okay? Fort Valley won fifth, hands down. But it just seems like, you know, Benedict was just slightly stronger, you know, as far as everything else is concerned. So, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Weedham and Wheat. There it is. Dry and uncut. Dry and uncut. That's what it is. So, I'm going to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that y'all enjoyed the video content. And like I tell y'all always, deuces.